It's 2016, and 5 officers are killed. 12 are attacked, 5 are killed, 9 are injured.
2 civilians, yeah.
Plus civilians. And that put the United States of America on the brink of anarchy.
Yes, sir.
And it put you at the absolute precipice where what you did or did not do in the matter of a few hours and in the matter of a few critical statements determined the direction this country took at that time. You were a pivot point for this country. Take me through those moments.
The first parts of July 7th and the 5 officers being killed were the notifications to me, the phone calls. So the protests downtown was like a day of protest across the country. And so we had planned with officers assigned downtown. We had the SWAT team nearby in a high crime area near downtown. And for all intents and purposes, it was going to be a peaceful protest. There was no indication. We had embedded undercovers in the protest planning meetings. We had relationships with the leaders. None of the leadership had problems with the Dallas Police Department. They were protesting what happened in Louisiana and Minnesota with some unarmed black men being shot and killed by other law enforcement. So we knew the agenda. They were planning to have speakers. They hadn't planned to march through downtown. That was a little bit spontaneous, but there was no plans to damage property or for them to be arrested. They just wanted to protest, exercise the First Amendment. I'm there, and the protest ends. They start marching through town. It's when the first time they've done that. My second in command calls me, and when the first shots rang out, an officer is down. Then he calls me again as I'm reporting to the command center, second, then a third. And he describes this as low sick. That's similar to grave. That's police terminology for the officer who shot is in grave condition. We call it low sick in our profession. So each officer that's shot is low sick. 4 are shot immediately. The 5th is shot during another exchange. And so I know this pain. I talked about it earlier with my partner and with my son. This pain is familiar. So I get to that deep, dark moment of despair that 4 officers are grave, likely to die. I'm only able to function because this is familiar pain to me. And not in the far past. This is familiar pain. So I'm at a moment where I've been before, and I'm able to function. I'm able to pull it together to do right by the city, by these families, and by the profession. And what's revealed during this crisis is who I am. I'm a person that quit school and then complained about crack cocaine. I did something about it. And so one of the first, most, I guess, remembered words, people come up to me and say this all the time. Man, where did you get that from? I said, that's who I am. Put down the protest signs. Put in an application. And help us solve these problems in your neighborhood. I said that not to demean them or not to push protesting as a right to do. But you want to make a difference? I put an application in. I left college and did something about it. You know, put your aspirations to change the world into action beyond just making us aware of what the problems are. You know, problem identifiers are a dime a dozen. So that's a long night, a long 2 days, a long 2 weeks of having 5 funerals, planning 5 funerals, graveside. We have a great tradition in law enforcement when in a line of duty death, it's gut wrenching. Not only facing the widows and girlfriends of these officers, they all have young kids, but old enough to know what happened. Not toddlers. They're old enough to know what happened, and it seemed that the world was looking. So I had the weight of the world looking, in my opinion, not only at the city of Dallas, but at the police profession. And I just felt this sense of obligation to say the right things, to talk about you're asking the profession to do too much. We're not built to solve all of society's failures. Our prisons are the largest mental health providers in this country. They are. That's shameful. And if you think about 5 officers being killed, it's the most since 9/11 in one event.
Yeah.
So it's no small thing, particularly in Dallas. We lost a president in the city.
Right.
So Dallas itself has some history. So myself and Mayor Mike Rollins had to get it right. And again, during all the interviews and all the things you saw on television, that whole time I'm planning to use C4 to blow this guy up. The whole time I'm planning to do that. And they're putting the plans together. They're making the suggestions on how it happens. It's the first time in American policing that C4 explosives are being used as a deadly weapon, weaponize the bomb robot. That's never been done. We're making police history in this, but it's risky. It's career ending. Legally, you could be prosecuted if you don't do this right, because we're not judge and jury. So you have to have the right legal grounds to do this. And so while I'm on display to the world, I'm planning to do something that's never been done in law enforcement, and it goes off successfully.